Okay, I know some of you are still in line, and some of you are on your second and third iteration, and that's good too. When the food is good, we just want more and more and more, right? But I'm going to go ahead and get started because we do have a program that we want to go through tonight. Welcome. My name's Deborah Hendricks, for those that I have not met or I do not know. And I am the executive director of Parents Challenge. And then somewhere running over here is Melissa Rousseau, who is our program director. So some of you have not met her. And she has been with us in September. And then we have Corrine Williams, who is our administrator in the office. And that's our team of 3. So we are delighted that you are here. This is our mandatory session for the spring semester. And we try to pull the families all together. And as you can see, we have 172 families in Parents Challenge. 172 families, 303 scholars that are in the program. But our average number of children per family is about 4. So if you want to add that up or multiply that, you know, that's the impact that we can have based on the families that are in the program. So we're excited about what Parents Challenge is and has been able to do over the last 22 years. And some of you have been with us. I've been with the organization for 8 years. Some of you have been with the program even earlier than I started with the organization, but we have tried over the last 8 years to bring you programming and resources and information that can help you as parents, as well as to help your scholars. And that's really our focus, is to help you to advocate for your children. They are your greatest asset. They are should be your jewel. And we want to make sure that you're providing them with what they need to be successful. As all of you should know, Parents Challenge supports all choice in education: private, public, charter, and homeschool. It is your decision as a parent to decide what's in your child's best interest. It is not any organization or school to decide what educational option your child may need, because one size doesn't fit all. And what I enjoy about Parents Challenge, or I enjoy really the families that are in Parents Challenge, is that many of you have multiple choices in the same household. Some of you have children that are in private. Some of you have, in that same household, you're homeschooling a child. You may have a child in traditional public or charter school, and that's fantastic, because what you're doing is making sure that your child has exactly what they need to be successful. Now, I see a family that's standing. Do you guys not have a seat? We need 2 seats in the back. I see them standing, so I know that they don't have a seat. Find a seat, please. I don't want anybody to have to stand up and eat their food. You only do that when you're cooking and you're doing it in a hurry. Okay, I think they just found a seat. I took care of them. All right. So tonight, our focus is health. And if you think about health, you can look at it from a variety of different perspectives. So we have physical health. Everybody should know what that is, right? You get out and exercise, walk stairs, ride a bike, get a gym membership. Okay, then we may have mental health. And we're going to actually have someone talk to us about that tonight. There may be intellectual health, social health, spiritual health, nutritional health. So we've tried to feed you nutritionally tonight. There may be, what else? I think I got most of them. Dental health. But the idea is that health covers a lot of different spectrums, and we invited a number of vendors to be here with us tonight to really talk about different aspects of health that you might need to look at in terms of your household. So we hope that you will if you have not had a chance to talk with some of the vendors, please make sure that you take the time to do that. They have tons of resources that they want to share with you in regard to that. So a couple just housekeeping. How many of you are veteran families? Raise your hand. Veteran families means that, not. How many of you are veteran families, meaning you've been in the program 2017, 2018, or earlier? Okay. So veteran families, you know that there were 3 things that you were able to do: a community service project, an internship, or just do your regular 6 sessions. We shouldn't have to remind you of what those are or fulfilling that responsibility. I want to thank Relina Akram. And Colin's not here, he's still in Japan. But those 2 worked hard to put together some community service opportunities for the families who signed up for that. So those who completed it, outstanding. Those who have not yet completed that project, I think you have Saturday as an option as part of National School Choice Week. Those that are doing their internship, everyone should have received information to contact that vendor that you're going to be doing your internship with. So hopefully that is moving forward. And those that are doing their sessions, then you can complete your session assignments as we move forward. We gave you tonight 2 pieces of paper, a reminder checklist, and we just want to just take the time, and we're going to get with our coordinators a little later in the program, but that reminder list is so that you know where things are. So as parents, we try to make things as easy or simple as we possibly can. So your ability to be able to know after a parent session, there's going to be an opportunity for you to do an eval. At the end of the semester, you're going to do a parent-student journal, which is a survey. If you want to reach out to anyone, you have your parent coordinators. You should know who they are. And tonight, hopefully you will check in and be able to put a name with a face if you've not personally met them. But that purpose of that coordinator was to help in terms of a small cohort group of parents being able to connect with each other and to be able to utilize that person instead of trying to get a hold of myself or Melissa. However, we are still available to assist you if necessary. But on there, in terms of requesting any information, you've got the info@parentschallenge.org. You know, Punch Bowl is used to invite you to any session. If you're not going to a session, just say no. It's okay. You know how many sessions you have to complete. That helps us in terms of, especially when they're in person, knowing how many people. When you RSVP 2 days before a session or the night of the session and it's in person, it's kind of hard for us to plan for food, right? So we planned for food a week ago, and we still had people registering as of yesterday. It makes it real hard to make sure we have enough for everyone. We can only do our best to facilitate that. So please help us out. If you're going to come to a session, I know things happen, and sometimes you plan to come and you can't, or you're not planning to come and you just forgot. But please let us know, yay or nay. You're going to be there or you're not going to be there. That's very helpful for us. We're going to introduce you to another program tonight called BAN, and we will talk about that in a moment. And you'll have an opportunity then to learn more about how we will hopefully eliminate tons of emails, tons of text messages, and all of that, and have you all, the families, all in one space, okay? We're going to do some door prizes and all of those things later, but I don't want to take away the time for our speakers tonight. And so I'm going to have Aisha come up and introduce our first presenter.
The first speaker we have tonight is Joy Miller. Joy Miller is the founder of the Macarios Project, a nonprofit focused on preventative mental health. She also occupies a role in the behavioral health department at the Children's Hospital, where she works to support and educate patients and their families during times of crisis or trauma. Joy has worked in the behavioral health field for 10 years, and here she is. Welcome, Joy Miller.
Thank you so much. First, I just want to thank everybody for putting this incredible event together for all of you and for inviting me to be a part of it. I feel honored and humbled to be here. I want to talk to you, or share with you rather, 10 truths that when I learned them, I thought to myself, I wish I'd known that sooner. I do want to give you a warning. The first two are on the topic of suicide. So if that is a sensitive topic for you, please take care of yourself and feel free to step out of the room. Truth number one, suicide is the second leading cause of death among young people between the ages of 10 and 34. Truth number two, Colorado is among the 10 states in the nation with the highest suicide rate. We rank number 5. Truth number 3, in 2021, Children's Hospital Colorado declared children's mental health a state of emergency. This made it impossible to ignore the fact that the way that mental health services and resources are accessed currently is a prescriptive model. It's not until after a crisis or after a trauma that those resources, services, and supports are accessed. What the Macarios Project is passionate about is shifting that model from a prescriptive one to a preventative one. So we focus on all of the preventative measures that can be taken to support overall mental wellness. Truth number 4, mental wellness is something that each and every one of us has, just like physical wellness. Deborah touched on that a little bit. So our physical wellness operates on a scale. If this is our baseline on that scale, and we get the flu, it might push us back from our baseline 3 days, 5 days, a week, however long it takes to fully recover until we're back to our baseline. The same is true for our mental wellness. It operates on a scale, and we have a baseline. If we lose a job, if we're facing financial insecurity, if we have the loss of a loved one in the family, that pushes us back on our mental wellness baseline. And it could take days, weeks, months, years to get back to where we were. What I really want to hone in on today, though, is the fact that just like we can optimize our physical health by the choices that we make, we have agency over how we can optimize our mental wellness so that we can increase it, so that hopefully when a crisis or a trauma does occur in our lives, we have the resilience so that we don't end up in emergency department, so that we don't require inpatient hospitalization. So if we want to optimize our physical wellness, we might focus on prioritizing sleep differently, moving our bodies in different ways, or changing our nutrition. If we want to optimize our mental wellness, that might mean integrating self-care as a normal part of our daily, weekly, monthly routine. It might mean making sure that we have a support system around us, whether that's friends, family that we can connect with and talk to, or professional support in the form of a wellness coach, a life coach, a counselor, or a therapist. Truth number 5, we are all psychobiological beings, meaning that our emotions, our stress, our immune system, our nervous system, they're all interconnected. I like to think of it as a spider web, right? So if something lands on one end of the spider web, those vibrations are felt through the whole entire web. Dr. Gabor Mate has a phenomenal website if you want to look up his name, but he talks about the fact that emotional stress is a major cause of chronic illness, of autoimmune disease, and even cancer. And some more concrete examples of how our mental and physical health are connected are the fact that depression is linked to diabetes, poor cardiovascular health is linked to clinically measurable depression. Exercise can decrease our stress and improve our mood, and overall mental wellness is correlated with heart health, with sleep, with our digestion, and our longevity, the number of days, weeks, months, years that we have on this earth with the people that we love the most. Truth number 6, so we talked about that mental-physical connection. Stress has the capacity to impact both of these negatively. So what can we do about that? Stress is something inevitable that we all face in life. There's a couple of things that we can do. One, we can teach ourselves to learn to recognize what it feels like in our bodies when that stress response is activated. So for some people, that might be a headache, it might be a racing heart, it could be tension in your jaw, clenching your jaw, all of those things. But recognizing those signs that your stress system, your stress response has been activated, gives us the opportunity to identify what in our environment, what triggered that stress. Is it something that we can minimize? Is it something that can be avoided? And the third thing that we can do to help us manage and process our stress so that it doesn't become chronic or pervasive is complete the stress cycle. So the Nagoski sisters have a phenomenal book on the stress cycle and how to complete the stress cycle. It's called Burnout. They also have a 6-minute YouTube video if you don't want to read the entire book. But when our stress response is activated, our bodies respond as if our life is being threatened. And so chemicals and hormones are released so that we can fight or flight or freeze. If we don't complete the stress cycle, all of those chemicals and hormones stay in our system, and that's not good for our physical or mental health. So I'll share with you 2 ways that we can complete the stress cycle. The first one is a 20-second hug with someone that you trust and someone that you know well. I say this because 20 seconds is a long time, and that hug can get really, really awkward if it's not someone that you know well and that you trust. The second way that you can complete that stress cycle is physical activity, right? So doing some push-ups, some jumping jacks, going outside for a brisk walk, or even dancing it out in the kitchen to one of your favorite songs. Truth number 7, this was super interesting to me when I learned it. So when you're an infant, when you're born, day 1 in the world, your brain is 25% developed. By the time you're 3, it's 75% developed. That's a huge leap in just 3 years. But the prefrontal cortex, some of you probably already know this, isn't fully developed until we're in our mid-20s. So as guardians, parents, caregivers, we act as the substitute prefrontal cortex for the young people in our lives. Some of the functions that the prefrontal cortex is responsible for include impulse control, attention, cognitive flexibility, being able to see the big picture, like what impact are my actions and my choices going to have beyond this moment right now, forward thinking, organization, and planning. So it's through no fault of their own that the young people in our lives may not have those skills down pat right now. They're not developmentally able to. But we can teach them skills and give them strategies and tools to support them in navigating events and situations that might require some of those executive functioning skills. I'll give you a few concrete examples. So I have one child at home, and we can spend hours cleaning that child's room. Within 24, 48 hours, it's a disaster again. So one strategy that we can implement is cleaning up, picking up 5, 10 things before we go to bed at night and just integrating that into the bedtime routine. Same child, we can work on a homework assignment for 45 minutes at night, and somehow it magically disappears between home and school the next day, even though I saw it go in the backpack. So a strategy that could work there, a tool that could help, is an accordion folder. All of our homework assignments live in that accordion folder. It doesn't go in the locker. It goes to every class with you, and that can help tremendously. So while we can't fast forward the development of the prefrontal cortex, we can support the young people in our life in developing some skills, some strategies, give them some tools to make those situations that require executive functioning a little bit less stressful, not only for the young people that we're responsible for, but for ourselves as well. Truth number 8, kind of building on the idea of supporting our young people by teaching them skills, I want to talk about social emotional learning. So these are skills that everybody needs just to successfully human, if you will, in the world that we live in today. Some of the benefits of a social emotional learning program when it's integrated into schools is overall improved academic outcomes, increased self-regulation, increased focus, increased mental clarity, and increases in impulse control. So generally, you tell educators this and they get really excited, and they want social emotional learning programs in their schools. Not all schools have them though, so I'll give you an idea of what the components of social emotional learning are so that you can integrate them in the home if it's something that your school does not currently have. So there's 4 components. The first one is distress tolerance. I already talked a lot about stress, so I'm not gonna hone on that one too long. The second one though is emotion regulation, so supporting the young people in our lives in developing language around the emotions that they're feeling them and helping them learn that while emotions feel very much like a reflex, we do have agency and autonomy over our choices and our response to those emotions. The third component is interpersonal effectiveness. So this teaches young people how to interact with their peers, how to resolve conflicts on their own, and for older teens and adolescents, what does a healthy relationship look like, and how do I set healthy boundaries so that I can maintain healthy, positive relationships in my life? Truth number 9, I want to talk to you about risk and protective factors. So many risk factors are outside of our control. And when I say risk factors, I mean those factors that put a young person at risk for experiencing a mental health crisis or challenge. Some of those risk factors might be our biology, our family history, the environments that we're in, or our personal experiences. Like I said, a lot of these are things that we don't have a lot of control over. 2 pretty incredible protective factors that we can cultivate in our lives and in our young people's lives include having 1 trusted relationship with a positive adult, and 2, the second one, is feeling connected to family and community. Those are both things that we can surround our children with so that they have those protective factors to sort of balance out and maybe support them so that they don't experience the potential effects of some of those risk factors. Truth number 10, not really a truth, it's a Maya Angelou quote. Do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. So I want to commend each and every one of you for being purposeful about spending your time here tonight, for expanding your knowledge, expanding your experience so that you can show up as the fullest version of yourself, not only in your life, but in the lives of the young people that you're responsible for. Thank you so much.
Isn't she wonderful?
Okay, I get the joy of introducing our next speaker. Lisa Jenkins' story reads like an epic tale filled with near misses, struggle, strength, courage, and triumph. From her life's experiences, she has uncovered her life's purpose. She has emerged as a living testament to God's prevailing peace, power, and presence. Lisa has advocated for domestic violence victims and underserved youth for over 25 years and spent countless hours volunteering, assisting in the empowerment of others. She was no stranger to need, but the soul-shattering poverty she observed planted the seeds of a vision that God gave her, and that eventually became the Kingdom Builders Family Life Center in April of 2013. Lisa's goal is to open a state-of-the-art domestic violence transitional housing for women and their children, as well as a home away from home, safe house for children that have left unsafe and often violent homes with these conditions. Let's welcome Lisa Jenkins.
Good evening. So it's snowing outside, so I'm going to try to make this brief so we can all get home and enjoy that weather tomorrow, and maybe we're going to be snowed in, maybe not. So again, my name is Lisa Jenkins, and I am going to talk about healthy relationships. So I'm 51. I just turned 51 on Sunday. So I can think back long time ago when I started having relationships, right? We all have. What does that look like, right? Sometimes we learn how to be in relationships based on our upbringing, right? When our first relationships are usually our parents and also our siblings. We go to school and then we start having friends. So we all go through life having different relationships, but sometimes they're not healthy. So we're going to talk tonight about identifying what healthy relationships are so that when we are speaking with our children at home, they'll know what right looks like in relationships, and hopefully they'll never have to come through our doors to be able to get services. Next slide, please. So a relationship, as I mentioned, is like a bond, a connection, right? And these are some of the ways you build relationship: acquaintances, casual friends, regular friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, when you get married, families, parents. All of those are different relationships we bond with at some point in our lives. Next slide, please. So according to Maslow, everyone needs to be loved and belong. Do you agree with that? Yeah? Each of us also needs to feel safe, secure, valued, and recognized. Relationships provide these basic needs for us. Next slide, please. Healthy relationships can help you become a better person. It's going to sometimes give you someone to talk to when you're having problems, help you relieve stress, and make life more enjoyable. And so our roles, that's just where do we play a part in that relationship? So everyone knows Brad Pitt, right? And we know for years he's played different roles in different characters, right? So do we all play different roles in our relationships? What do you think? How many are parents here? Grandparents? Yet? No yet? Oh, grandparents, right? What about siblings? Right? So we all have different roles in the relationships. And each of our roles change? So as parents, we don't have the same relationship that we would have if we were in a relationship with our parents, correct? It's different, right? What about with our spouses and our significant others? We won't have that same relationship that we would with our children. So we all play different roles in our different relationships. My role, I have a lot of roles. I'm a wife. I'm a mother of 7. I have 4 grandchildren. I'm a business owner, community leader. I cook. I feel like I'm a maid a lot. I'm a homeowner. I'm a church member. So I play a lot of roles in my life, and it's a heavy role sometimes. So what are roles you play? So I want you all to think about the roles that you play in your life, and that's what we're going to talk about a little bit. So when you're in a healthy relationship, you want to have self-respect, right? Because if you don't have respect for yourself, would others have respect for you? We kind of play that role in our lives, that if we respect ourselves, then we can show others what we expect to be. And we also want to have respect for others as well. So when you respect others, what do? Listen to others. You're considerate of others' feelings. You develop mutual trust and build realistic in your expectations. So wives, husbands, I know sometimes, do we always be realistic in the relationship that we have with each other? No, it's a time we have to develop that, right? Absolutely. So that's what it's going to take. Some of the traits of a healthy relationship is mutual respect. We want to treat others like, the golden philosophy, treat others as you would have them to treat you, right? We want to do that, right? We respect them. Caring, treat others with kindness and consideration, be empathetic. We also want to be honest with each other, open communication rather than concealing thoughts, feelings, and actions. And then also commitment. We want to be able to contribute to the relationship. And to keep the relationship strong, we always have to work on being respectful of each other. Some other characteristics of a relationship: trustworthiness, responsibility, fairness, caring, citizenship, and respect. Those are some characters and traits we want to look for in healthy relationships. So here's some unhealthy behaviors. A lot of the folks that come through our doors, they've come in experiencing unhealthy relationships. That's where the domestic violence comes in. And so we work on that, building them up to know what's right, so that when they get in other relationships, they don't carry that over. So unhealthy behaviors can be stereotyping, prejudice, bullying, and those are some of the unhealthy behaviors. And I don't know how many kiddos in here, I see some, but when you're in school, look for those behaviors in people that you're associating with. Because if you see some of that, that means that those behaviors are not healthy and you want to stay away from that. Next slide. So here's some of the skills for building a healthy relationship. You always want to have communication, exchanging of thoughts and feelings and beliefs between 2 people or more. Cooperation, working together for the good of everyone. And then compromising. We want to problem-solve methods in which each participant gives up something to reach a solution. parent cooperation versus compromise challenge. And in our relationship bank account is what we call it, we have a different bank account with every person we have in relationship. And what's going to happen is the quality of the relationship depends on how many deposits and withdrawals we take out of that. When there are significant funds in our bank account, an occasional withdrawal will not damage the relationship. Occasionally you want to take it away, but if you consistently are taking away from that account, how much are you going to have left? You probably won't have nothing left, right? So you've depleted everything you have. But when you're having a healthy relationship, you want to always be pouring into that. Figuring out ways where you can work with each other and be mutually respectful, that's the way that you keep that bank account balanced. And so that was it for that slide. But what I wanted to do, because we talked about healthy relationship, a part of our nonprofit, we do a lot of education. When you grow up in homes that are filled with a lot of chaos, do you think you can learn to be in a healthy relationship? What do you think? No, right? It takes time, so you have to be educated. So we do a lot of education. So if you or anyone you know are experiencing any type of unhealthy relationship, or you have a friend that may be in that situation, our organization can support that. And we also have a youth program where we work with youth for 12 weeks. We're in some of the schools now, and we also have a Friday night event where we have it for 12 weeks. Kiddos are coming from 4 to 6, and we talk about healthy relationship. We talk about red flags in relationship. We do a lot of pouring into these youth because they have then the skills so that they'll never have to repeat any of the challenges. And even if you're looking for opportunity, I know when I was a child, when my mother would tell me things, I would say at times, she don't know what she's talking about. How many of you said that, right? And so a lot of times, our children are hearing us, but they're really not hearing us. So it's good to be able to reach out and find a support system. And we want to be that support system. And like I said, for that 12 weeks, every Friday we're talking about topics that our youth are facing. They start at 7 and we go all the way up to 17. We meet on Friday nights, we feed them dinner, and we talk. They open up to us, because guess what? We're not a threatening place, right? We're not your parents. So if they don't feel threatened, and they're able to open up, and it gives them an opportunity to learn some skills so they become leaders in their own self, so that they can then take that leadership that they learn to their homes as well as to their communities. And we go on monthly field trips. So we have fun, guys. So if you're looking for an opportunity to get your youth involved in a non-threatening way, just also you can get some information in the back as well. So I am done. Do you have any questions for me? All right. Yes.
Where are you having them classes at?
So are you familiar with Airport and Academy? The Satellite Hotel, that big giant building that's there. We're on the second floor in the C wing, and we have that whole wing there. That's what we meet at. And then also, if there's a challenge with transportation, let us know, because we do have a 15-passenger van, so we do pick up kiddos as well. And yeah, and anytime you want to volunteer, I see a lot of males here, females as well. We have a lot of kiddos that need positive role models. We have staff where we need more of males and females who say, you know, I want to give back. And we also train you all. So it's an opportunity to give back to the community and also have fun at the same time, because these kiddos are pretty fun. I saw another hand, I think. Yes. Okay, so I have only 2 girls, and all the rest are boys. And the girls, 18 and 28. Yeah. They're mostly adults. We have 3 adults, and we have 2 are 18-year-old twins, and we have 2 7-year-old twins. But the 7-year-old twins are our bonus. We adopted them when they were 1, and they're 7 now.
She's only asking that because she has 7 girls.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. But I know my 2 girls, they keep me busy for sure. Oh, they are, absolutely. Your best friend, my 28-year-old and my 18-year-old, we have a great bond. So I'm thankful for the 2 girls, for sure. Okay, well, any other questions? We're out front, and hopefully you got a bag. If you didn't, please give us a call, and we'd love to be able to support you and your family. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Lisa.
All right.
These are two wonderful programs. Certainly, again, we have other vendors that are here, but healthy relationships. There's so many issues around relationships now. And some of our scholars, some of us as adults, don't know what healthy relationships should be, should look like, because maybe we haven't experienced that in our own home. So please check out Kingdom Builders in terms of what they provide, and you try to utilize those services because they are local. Joy is in Denver, so but her resources are on her website as well. But again, some of the vendors that we have here are Academy Kids Dental. So again, taking care of your dental health, Care and Share, Cooking Matters, nutritional health, making sure that you're eating those healthy foods. Goodwill, talking about home care and residential care. So sometimes in terms of taking care of our seniors as well as ourselves, I mean, I'm in that category now, so as a senior. So Kingdom Builders, Family Life Center, domestic violence and abuse. We know that during COVID, that child abuse, sexual abuse, domestic violence went up rampant. People having to be at home with each other 24/7, couldn't handle it. We had all of the liquor stores and the weed shops open, but everything else was shut down. So just imagine what that can be in a household. So trying to, again, deal with some of those issues. The Pikes Peak Library in terms of intellectual health and social programs. The library has so many resources, and they're free. And all you've got to do is have a library card to check out tons of resources. I love the fact that you can go into the library and get a kit that you can then go out in nature. Although I'm not an outdoor person, but people who do it say they like it. My idea of camping is a Holiday Inn. So, but those who do like that, you can go out and do some outdoor projects with your scholars, and all of those are just wonderful programs to have. And then we got the Public Health Department here, looking at vaccinations and disease prevention. So picking up information that they have available. Safe Kids Colorado, those of you that have kids that are still in car seats, are they in properly? I mean, when I grew up, there were no car seats, but there wasn't as many cars on the road either. And our cars were made of steel. These fiberglass cars, you bump them a little bit and they fall apart. So please making sure that your kiddos are safe in your cars and so forth, in the proper seats. So check with them on that. And then UC Health in terms of just overall medical health. Going to get yourself checked up on a regular basis. You know, don't say it'll go away. It might, but it might not. So at least finding out what you need to do and if you need to do anything. But please check in with the resources that are here. So how many of you know who your parent coordinators are? Yeah, right. I'm just kidding. All of you probably know. It's the people who aren't here who don't know who their coordinators are, right? So when many of you filled out your parent-student journal, you put people down as coordinators who weren't your coordinators. So tonight we want to try to fix that a little bit. But the parent coordinators are going to spend some time just going over a few components with you. So when you checked in, we gave you a color code, and we also told you who your parent coordinator was. So we'll see how many of you do well in terms of figuring that out. Let's see. We're going to logistically, this is probably going to be a little crazy, but we're going to have you do some magical chairs right now, okay? Well, we have them color-coded, but if you know who your coordinator is, it won't matter. How about that? So let's try that out. So all the coordinators are up here, So I'm going to have them to kind of move themselves in the room, and we want you to go to where your coordinator is. Okay? So if we can have a couple up here as well. Yes. Okay. So we've got Raquel, who's up front. We've got Dawn over here. We've got Sharice over here. Nasambi, Christina, Aaron, Shayna, Jessica. And is that everybody? Did I call everybody? Find your coordinator. We'll see how well. You don't need to take your stuff. Just get up out of your seat. You can leave your stuff. Just get up out of your seat. You're not going to sit down. Just find your coordinator. Only thing you do need is your phone. You do need your phone. You don't have to sit down. Uh-oh. Just find your coordinator. I don't know where Emily is, yeah. Find your coordinator. You don't need anything but your phone. You can leave your bags. You're not going to sit down. Has everybody found their coordinator? Coordinators, keep your signs high. People are trying to find you. Aisha, come over here. So, because you and Christina are in the same spot. Okay. Melissa is out there in the hallway. Hold up your signs, coordinators. Everybody should have their coordinator sign. Should find their coordinators. Is there anybody who does not know who their coordinator is? I'm your coordinator. I only have 2 families, and you're one of them. These are special needs families. Who I'm their coordinator. All right, coordinators, if your people are there, have your conversation with them. So parents, we're going to do a little competition. So the coordinator team that gets all of their people on band by the end of February, and they're all communicating, everybody on that team will get a gift card. 2 minutes, and please take your seats if you are done. If the groups are done, 2 minutes, please take your seats. All right, please take your seats. I've got some door prizes, and then we want you to spend the rest of the time talking to the vendors, taking all of their resources that they brought for you. What is Saturday? Woo! National School Choice Week. We want to see you there. We're raffling off 3 laptop computers. We're giving away backpacks with school supplies. Please come and see us on Saturday. We're going to have these wonderful scarves. Those of you that do not have a scarf, you want one of these because they are so warm. You definitely need them for today, right? Okay. So some of our vendors provided door prizes. So when we call your name, go ahead and come up and get your door prizes. And then we have some gift cards too, because that's just what we do. Also, parents, this starts our sessions for the spring. So if you ask, does this count for tonight for one of our sessions? Yes. Any sessions that are on that list that you received or on the website are all sessions except for an event. And an event is on Saturday for National School Choice Week. So you don't get credit for that, but you come and have lots of fun. We'll have tons of books too, new books that we'll be giving away. All right, so our first door prize from Joy, our first speaker that we had, is Harper. A 30-minute coaching session. Okay, so the Macarius Project. All right, our next door prize is from the library. They're not in the program any longer. The Yingling. They're gone? Okay, gotta be here to win. Faith. All right, the next one is, oh, they're not here. From UC Health, the Beckers. All right, so we've got 6 door prizes. I mean, 6 gift cards, right? Yes. Okay, first gift card, the Salazar. The Ingrams. E. Johnson. Linser. How many was that? We should do what? Oh, that's right. You should be happy. Yeah. Come on down. Boyers. Are the Boyers here? Oh, well, got to be here to win. How many we got? Mendez Benitez. Annabelle. All right. One more? Ooh. I might have an extra door prize in my purse. The Bessemer. Stacy. Where's Stacy go? Oh, get on up here. And the Pozos. Are they here? They get $40 in cash. Woo, that's the last one. So, thank you guys for being here tonight. Make sure you hit the vendors on your way out of here. Take as much information as you can. We thank you for being in Parents Challenge, and we'll see you at the next session. Have a good evening.